Well, here it is, the all-new Ford Escape, hot on the heels of the Ford Puma that we test drove not that long ago at CarAdvice. And you may be asking, why are we standing in a tunnel? Well, I can tell you, and you can see a bit of evidence there, it has been bucketing down in Sydney for the last couple of days. We've been dodging showers trying to shoot this thing for you. So eventually, we just gave up and came undercover. Now, we've been looking forward to driving this for a while because this segment is absolutely vital to Ford in Australia, simply because Australian buyers love it as much as they do. The trim grade that we're looking at today is the one that's been fettled by Italian design house Vignale, and it obviously looks pretty good to us in the flesh. Just standing still here, pretty attractive SUV. However, the proof will be in the driving and inside the cabin. Let's take a look. Escape pricing starts from the front-wheel drive only model at $35,990, and the most expensive Escape is the plug-in hybrid at $52,940, both before on-road costs. Specification for the PHEV though is equal to the mid-grade ST line. The model we're testing here is the Vignale all-wheel drive, with pricing starting from $49,590 before on-road costs, while our test vehicle actually costs $50,240 as tested, before on-road costs as well. That puts the Vignale smack bang in the middle of the main segment combatants. As you'd expect, inside the cabin it does feel reasonably premium. I like a lot of the treatment that they've used in here because it really sort of lifts it up a notch. For example, the matte finish on what amounts to fake wood grain looks a hell of a lot better than it would if it was gloss. It looks a lot more tasteful without that shine to it. I think the stitching here across the dash looks really good. The switch gear, really nice and well laid out, I guess, and easy to understand. But I think generally the feel inside the cabin is one of premium. It does feel, even though it has to be said this isn't a cheap vehicle, cheap in inverted commas, it does feel like it's a pretty high grade car. Taking a close look at storage, and it's an important one because obviously these sorts of vehicles in this segment are mum and dad driving around town, running the kids around from school, sport, all that kind of stuff. So storage, obviously, very important. Clever little shelf here, you can put the key there. It's got a non-slip rubber finish to it, I like that. Cup holders here, they work well. You've got your USB inputs for your phone up the front, and what I do like as well, you've got a wireless charge pad for your smartphone, and it sort of holds it in place. It's not in a stupid angle and it's not hard to get to. How many cars do we test where the plugs and the switches for your phones and your inputs, you've got to get right up under the dash? They're very hard to get to. This is not the case with this. You've got useful door pockets with bottle holders. So all in all, certainly not the most spacious interior we've ever seen, but for this segment, it's pretty well laid out. The Vignale's engine is a 2-litre inline turbocharged 4-cylinder with 183 kilowatts and 387 newton metres, mated to an 8-speed auto and on-demand all-wheel drive. Its claimed fuel use is 8.6 litres per 100 kilometres on the combined cycle, but on testing, largely around town it has to be said, we used 11.4 litres per 100 kilometres. Despite running a conventional 8-speed auto, the Vignale exhibited some of the tendencies we don't always love about a DCT. There was some low-speed lurching, not a major issue it has to be said, but it was definitely there, and there can be a hesitation when you ask it to kick down to roll on overtake. You can mitigate that, however, by using the paddle shifters. The Vignale errs on the side of sporty in terms of ride, and on smooth surfaces, it's in its element. On patchy surfaces, however, it can feel a little too firm, but only on the really poor surfaces that you might experience on the worst roads. So there you have it, our initial impressions on the new Ford Escape, specifically here in the Vignale trim. Now, it has to be said, we're pretty much looking forward to testing this against some other vehicles in the segment because obviously with a launch review, this is what we think of it first up. So we like to put it against its competitors and see how it fares. If there's something you'd like to see it compared to, let us know in the comments section below. One thing I think we do need to say is that it stands out. In a styling perspective, it certainly looks different to the other vehicles in this segment. There's a little bit of homogenisation to some of the styling in this segment. I don't think this thing fits that bill. I think it does stand out. So let us know what you think of the car in the comments section below. Of course, click on like if you enjoyed the video, hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and as always, full details and the full review, CarAdvice.com.